This is week 3 of the Mike Hill Show. We are live. We got great guests, great coaches coming on. And, we got the same routine. We are going to look at the top 25, see how teams fared in that top 25, see if they handle their business or not. We'll take a look at some big wins, and we'll give a shout out to a few players that have been nominated for top performers. So looking back, let's just look at the top 25, the West Coast Prep top 25. The top 3 teams did play this weekend. Sarah is the number 1 seed. They had a home opener, right? And they did what they're supposed to. They're not playing around this year. Sarah is big time, right? And they are going to contend for that, that NorCal title, whoever they may face. But they had a great win, started slow, but then just took off. I think they played Cathedral Catholic out of the Valley. So that was a big win there. So they'll stay at number 1, I'm pretty sure. We got number 2, De La. De La travels down to Mountain View to play St. Francis, and they had like some revenge on their mind. Last year, St. Francis beat them, and that was like the first loss in a regular season in a long time. So I know that stung for a year. So they came back ready to play. Right. And it wasn't really, it looked like, I wasn't at the game live, but it looks like they dominated the game from start to finish. One of my favorite players is Cooper Flanagan out of De La Salle. He is the Notre Dame commit. See, 6'7". That's what it said on ESPN the other night. 6'7", 251 pounds. He's bigger than some NFL tight ends, right? So, and he did some work. He has 66-yard receiving and a touchdown, and he's headed to Notre Dame. Why I like him, I got to see him down in LA at a 7-on-7 tournament, and he was basically a receiver. He played in the slot. He played outside. He made big-time catches to lead KT Prep 7-on-7 to win the LA tournament. I can't remember the name, but we went down to LA. A lot of teams from the Bay Area, from SoCal, teams from Utah, Nevada, Houston, and he just really showed out. He showed out, and then after, speaking to him, he was humble, right? I made a post about him or whatnot, and then he messaged me pretty much instantly and said, "Thanks, coach. I appreciate that." And like I was talking to Tayshawn, some kids that get big time, they get a little cocky, but he is also another one that didn't and stays humble. And then he's going to have a bright future. He's already having a bright career at De La, and I think he's going to be doing big things at Notre Dame. So number 2, De La will stay at number 2. And then number 3, Pitt. Pitt played California. It looks like they did what Pitt do, right? They went out there. They had explosive plays from the offense. I got to give a shout out to Kai Taylor. I got to meet Kai, a great kid. His father is there often, super supportive, rooting for his kid. I've seen him at so many different camps, coaching his son up to make him be great. Kai had 7 catches, 208 yards, and 2 touchdowns in one game. Like, these kids are putting up some absolute numbers these days, man. So Kai is a 3-star athlete. He has 4 offers, but he is locked in. He committed to Nevada. He worked for that offer. I remember when he got the offer, man, just after grinding through different cramp national preps, he kept showcasing himself and kept working. And then he finally got the one that he wanted. So he's committed to Nevada Wolfpack. He'll be an impact player. He'll get up there and just be a baller. So the top 3 remain the same. They all won. So the top 3, the West Coast Prep top 25 will remain the same. And I looked at it. It looks like 4 teams lost in the top 25, but they lost to some top 25 teams. And then there are a lot of teams with bye weeks going into this. So I don't think it's going to be too much movement in the top 25. Teams fare well this week in week 3. So let's just move on. There's some big wins. There's some big wins that I want to highlight during this show. Akalani's, right, was supposed to lose to Sheldon from Sacramento. And Akalani's continued to prove why they are one of the best programs in the Bay Area. They moved to 3-0. That was a big-time win. It was a close matchup, and they're confident over there. I think they want to make a bigger push in the playoffs, talking to Coach Stewart, who's the co-offensive coordinator there, and has those boys locked in. So shout out to Akalani's with that big win. The other one is one of my good friends, Coach Johnson at Branham. Branham is rolling at 3-0, right? They had a big time win over Gunderson, and we got to play them. Menlo got to play them in a 7-on-7 event this summer. So we got close with them. We even went to their fundraiser and hung out. So we are close to the Branham program, or I'm close to the Branham program, and they're 3-0 and they're rolling. They're getting ready for their league. Another great game I got to follow via the reporters was Camp Lindo. I'm not sure, one of West Coast Preps reporters were there. I'm not sure if it was Greg or Chris, but they were there for the live game, and that was 28-26 over Windsor, and they scored at the last second, right? It was absolutely bananas. That time expires, Camp Lindo pulls it off and wins. So that's a big time win there. We also got Bandon. Bandon beat Foothill. Foothill's a great program here in the Bay Area, and Bandon came out and just showed them what time it was. It looked like the score was 23-14. And there was a question that came up on Twitter when we asked for top games of the week, and I think Bandon versus Foothill was the West Coast Preps game of the week. And someone asked, do they got a lot of returners? You know what I mean? And then their coach chimed in and said, we don't need a lot of returners. We got the same players from last year who are underclassmen that are back. You know what I mean? So, and I commented, talk your talk, right? Because they didn't have to reload. They was already loaded. For lack of better words, the Bullets just got a little bit better, right? And they shooting at all cylinders right now. So Bandon looks like they're 3-0, and they are headed for another state title. That's what they're trying to get, man. And when you got a lot of returners playing the same league, playing the same teams, you might get it. So shout out to Bandon for going off and pulling off that win. This was the interesting intro. We had St. Vincent de Paul out in the North Bay. I saw some pictures that a lady rode in on a horse to lead the team down the field. Like, that's big time. Like, y'all got horses coming through and y'all winning. And it wasn't even a close matchup. I think St. Vincent de Paul really just ran away from them. I got to meet their coaching staff during the summer. Those are great guys. Trent has those kids pushing going at all cylinders, man. So they're going to make another run in this playoffs again. So shout out to St. Vincent de Paul, man. And they got some athletes. They got some kids getting some Division I looks. I think one of the kids have Air Force. Some of the kids have Ivy League. So they got a great program out there in the North Bay, and they're doing some great things. Let me check my notes. So I got two more. Let's see. Bellarmine. The Bellarmine Bells bounce back, right? They go down to San Leandro, I'm sorry. And they go down and they avenge their 0-2 start, right? They played a tough 2 games to start off, right? They went to Menlo Atherton, and right after Menlo Atherton, they went to McClymonds, just 2 powerhouse. They started off 0-2, and they came back and won. And I think they will be a team to watch out for in this WCL as it gets started. They will be a playoff team. I'm pretty sure they will finish at least top 4 in their league, and they will get in the playoffs and make a run. So shout out to the Bellarmine Bells. You know, they got a good coaching staff over there, and they got those kids balling. My last one, this one kind of hits home. So Ethan Castle, a great reporter based in San Francisco, but he's all over the place. You can catch him in Salinas, Hollister, San Francisco, Burlingame, Menlo Park. He's everywhere. And then he had an interesting stat that this was the first time in so long, right, that El Camino out of South San Francisco and South City High Warriors, the school I went to, legend, right? They won on the same day. It's been so long, like those programs have been down. El Camino shocks Lincoln of San Francisco. That was big. Shout out to a kid that I worked with during the summer. Manny had a good game, about 70 yards receiving and 40 yards rushing. So about 100 yards in total offense. So congrats to him. And then South San Francisco. So this one hits home, man. I went to South City. South City kind of made me. We had a great time at South City, or I had a great time at South City, just looking back about all the tradition and the winning traditions that they had over there. When I came in as a freshman, like we knew South City was real deal, right? We had big players, we had big time players, we had big rosters. And then I got lucky during my junior year. I think we went 8-1 or 9-1. And my senior year, we went 8-2, made it to the CCS playoffs. And then as time went on, things transpired. South City kind of hit a low point where they were losing a lot of games, and participation was down. And now Frank Morrow's back. He was my head coach. He's back leading the program, and they won. They beat Jefferson, man, and people kind of counted them off. They thought this was just going to be a year where they just compete for games, but Frank Morrow and Coach Pua is the defensive coordinator. Also, one of my coaches got those kids playing over there. So shout out to South San Francisco and our league rival, El Camino Colts. And their bell game is coming up in November. That's a big time rivalry. I can remember playing in that game. It was magical. So I'll be there at the bell game in November. So that's my shout outs. We got Acalanes, Branham, Campo Lindo, and Vanden, St. Vincent de Paul, El Camino, South City, and Bellarmine. So let's just move on. Let's talk about some big time performers for this game. Some big time performers. Here we go. So I always ask you guys throughout the week, Friday and Saturday, tag me with players that just been going bananas, right? Who's been putting up numbers that need to be showed some love for their performances. So I get messages all the time. I get a lot of messages actually. And then I try to just filter out the best based off the messages. I'm not able to look at everything, but let's first start with Willie Nicholson, right? He's the quarterback. He's a 2025 quarterback out of Armio, out in the East Bay. He went 17 for 21, 235 yards, 1 touchdown, 73 yards rushing, and 1 touchdown. So over 300 yards by this one gentleman and 2 touchdowns. So shout out to Willie, man. And they got Coach Haynes, one of my good friends out there, re-sparking that program. They got a big time recruit in Jericho who's getting offers from all over the country. So Armio will be a team to keep an eye on as well. So we move down. Let's see. Okay, I got one of my guys, Leroy Bryant. Leroy Bryant out of Rodriguez. He's a big time athlete and he works really hard, man. I got to meet Leroy a couple years ago, and he was super humble and just like, coach, like, what do I need to do to get recruited? How do I get this? And then after that, he hooked up with TMP, 7-on-7 TMP Elite, and his recruiting just took off, man. He went from not to diss him, went from a nobody to like one of the nation's top corners, right? So shout out to Leroy. He also plays receiver, so he hit me with the stats. He had 104 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Like, go ahead, keep going, man. I'm always rooting for you. Leroy's committed to Washington. Big time recruit going out to Washington. Let's see. So this one is special, man. So I got to look at the stats, and then let's give a shout out to my former program, Sacred Heart Cathedral. Sacred Heart is 2-1, right? They just beat Burlingame, and I'm at Menlo now, and Burlingame is in our league and on our schedule. So, hey, way to knock that off, right? They had a good outing, man. They all put up numbers. And my 3 amigos, some kids that I'm really close with, looks like they went to work. Jerry Mixon, he had 148 yards rushing and a touchdown and a gang of tackle and sacks. R.L. Miller had a pick 6. It looks like during that time, Burlingame looked like they were trying to score and knock on the door, and R.L. shut that with the pick 6. And then Kendrick Sanders, he started off slow at running back, but he has blazing speed, ripped off a 71-yard touchdown to put the icing on the cake. So shout out to Sacred Heart. Keep doing y'all thing, man, and keep on winning. They are 2-1 heading into this bye week before they hop into that WCAL. So let's transition as we move forward. Let's transition. Let's talk about the game of the week. My game of the week for next week is going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates. I love Pittsburgh, and I love their coaches and their players and that whole culture that they got over there. Pittsburgh will host Folsom. We know Folsom is a powerhouse out there in the 916 Sacramento, upper Sacramento area. Folsom will come down to play Pitt at Pitt. So that's the game of the week. For me, it's going to be Folsom at Pitt. And these two teams can be also, teams that can represent NorCal either in the Open or Division I state title game. So that's the game of the week. We got Folsom versus Pittsburgh. And let's see what we're doing here. So let's just talk about Menlo. I always got to give love to Menlo. I ain't got my Menlo shirt on, but I got my coach, Mike Hill, wide receiver training. I train athletes across the Bay Area. I shoot out to Texas, shoot out to Arizona, Washington, just to help kids get better. So I'm rocking myself today, man, the coach Mike Hill, wide receiver unit training. So let's talk about Menlo. So we end up having a bye week this week. As we know, it was the heat was crazy this last week. We were in a heat advisory in that Menlo. Safety of our students is most important. We were unable to practice this entire week outside pretty much because we were considered in the red with our protocols, which didn't allow us to, use equipment, be outside in the heat and train. So we were able to, fortunately, reschedule this game against Amador Valley. So we'll play Amador Valley on September 10th instead of playing September 30th. And instead of playing at home, we'll travel up to Amador Valley and play them Friday night, 7:00 at Amador Valley. And looking forward to this game this week. Menlo will travel to Freedom all the way out to Oakley. We'll hop on that charter bus, kick back and put our legs up and get ready for this battle against Freedom. So we'll be at Freedom on Friday night at 7:00. If you guys are in the East Bay, near Oakley, Brentwood, Antioch, that area, come on down and see what Menlo has to offer and also see what Freedom has to offer, right? They are coming off some good games. They're a good team. They'll be ready to go. So Menlo versus Freedom coming up. Hey, welcome to this third week of the Mike Hill Show with West Coast Preps. I got some big time guys here. I got a big time coach out of Tennyson. They are here to tell us about Tennyson, like this program in the East Bay that's been 10-1 last year, and now they 3-0 again, and about to make this run in this playoff. So I'll welcome their head coach, Coach John. Pronounce your last name for me, Coach.
Pangelina.
John Pangelina is the head coach at Tennyson, and he's doing big things. So some research that I did looks like last year they were 10-1, lost in the second round of playoffs and won the league title, but now they 3-0, right? And they back and they stars is a little bit more mature and experienced. So, Coach, just tell us about Tennyson program. Maybe people don't know about it, where y'all located, things like that.
Yeah, man. My name's Coach John Pangelina. I've been with Tennyson football program since 2002. Wow. Me and all my brothers played there. I got nephews and cousins that went to there and played as well. So the upbringing of me being around Tennyson started off as me being a water boy and a ball boy, on the sidelines when Tennyson, had a bad reputation of losing. That's where that reputation came from. Right. And I had a few college coaches ask me where the hunger comes from and the passion comes from to keep these guys motivated. And it started in those days when we were the ones getting blown out. You know what I mean? When I was watching my brothers out there struggling and playing, I just always been around it. Started coaching in 2011 as a JV assistant, worked my way up. And this is my second year as a third year on varsity, second year as a varsity head coach. So I've been around the program my whole life, so and two of my brothers coached me. All of my coaches on staff are all Tennyson alumni. Wow. So, everyone here has been a part of that building process from player to coach, and now all we're doing is just watering the seeds that have been planted, and the fruits are growing. The fruits of our labor is showing with these athletes. They get to showcase their talent, and we're just an underdog. Every year, everybody has us counted out, man. And, we got some great talent out here in South Hayward. And, these guys are just coming out there every Friday showcasing their talent with hopes of getting further.
I got you, Coach. So let's just talk about the shift. So the culture had to shift when you took over or when you was assistant. What made this shift happen? Because it shifted.
Honestly, all I did was grab the torch from Terry and just start running my own laps. Terry Smith coached me and all my family members. So with him and our coaches before us instilled in us, we were able just to grab that torch and keep it moving, and add our own flavor to it. Add a couple little different flavors to the pot, but we're still stirring that same pot, man. And we're taking care of our guys, trying to nurture them. And I want to say the biggest difference is instilling more of the athlete more of the young man behind the athlete.
Right.
We're trying to build these guys up for life, not just the football player during the season, because many don't know that, but Coach Smith, with us, there was a lot he did by himself, you know what I mean? And now I'm in that same situation, but I have some guys around me that can help out. But I feel like, I'm younger, I'm 31 years old, and I'm fully focused and locked into what we're doing. So everything we're doing is family orientated, like we study hard together, watch film together, pray together, play together, train hard together, and it's just, all we got to do is just keep the machine going, and just buy into the culture, and everybody's bought into the program. All these kids that have been playing since they've been here have had a winning success. You know what I mean? Like the graduating class last year, it was like the tip of the ship. Like we were winning games, you know what I mean? We were in the playoffs since 2011, but the class last year, their freshman year, they went 8-1-1, sophomore year, 7-3, junior year, 5-0 with the COVID season. And then their senior year, they go 11-1. So
undefeated in the league, right? What only loss came in the playoffs that year? Is that right?
Yeah.
That's undefeated season almost, yeah.
Yeah, because like in the spring we went 5-0, and then we turn around in the fall in the same year and go 11-1. So I know it's just the culture. You know what I mean? Every week we preach championship week, and we treat it as such. Everything comes with preparation. Proper preparation for performance, and we all know that. So we just try to take that and instill it in our young guys, not just for football, not just for the week. You know what I mean? Not for the season, but for life. We all know that the game can teach us way more about life than anything, and all we're doing is just giving it back to these young guys.
Got you, man. So it takes a village, and y'all got it locked in, and I can tell just by talking to you how y'all becoming successful, man. So I can feel a passion for Tennyson when I'm talking to you. So I know that just resonates with your boys, man. So let's just talk real quick about this recruiting. I know I didn't know you yet, but I saw you at the ESPN 300. You're out there supporting your guy, and I know you active on social media. So what's your take on recruiting? Like, in a nutshell, what you trying to do for these kids, and the next steps for them.
Honestly, man, I think recruitment is what you want it to be. You know what I mean? Sometimes, guys don't really understand the process, but like as a coach, you gotta be hungry to learn. You gotta put your pride aside. You gotta reach out to people and network for these kids, because at the end of the day, if you're not networking for your guys, then what are you doing? Like a lot of people have that mindset. If they're a player, they'll come, they'll find them. Yeah, that's true, but there's a lot of diamonds in the rough that could have had some opportunity that people didn't push for, and absolutely. I'm saying, we had this thing where we're like, I'm gonna reach out to people, you reach out to people, we're constantly just reaching out to people, trying to network, because at the end of the day, if you have good relationships with people, somebody can help you get a kid somewhere, and I feel like there's many different levels of football where kids can play. Some kids aren't D1, you know what I mean? Everybody has a dream of going
That's
D1.
Cool too, right? And that's cool. You don't got to be D1.
You don't got to be D1. At the end of the day, our goal is free education. We can help these young men get a free education and change the dynamic of their family and the household of what they grew up in, and sometimes change their whole family's dynamic. Like that's a blessing. Free college or partially free college, like that's amazing, man. Some of these kids are leaving the state. A lot of guys are afraid to get these small offers, and they're afraid to leave because no one's really preparing them for that. You know what I mean? They're afraid for the real world, but taking that leap of faith and going and becoming a young man on your own, that's going to change the whole dynamic of your family. One day when you get married and have kids, you know what I mean? Like now they have a father who's an educated person, you know what I mean? And coming from areas where that's not common sometimes, like that could be a whole cultural shift in the whole family. So, we just want to keep these guys educated, networking with as many coaches as we can. I'm an open book. I like to learn from coaches and, like just constantly learning and trying to evolve myself. So I could teach my coaches and teach my athletes around me, that and let them know as well. Like, as men, you got to put your pride and that ego aside, kind of just demolish that, because the day you think you know it all is the day you stop growing.
Slipped up.
Exactly. And we gotta just stay sharp, iron sharpens iron, and we gotta just stay connected with each other and build a bridge for these young athletes to get further than we did, man.
For sure, man. And I tell you, like you said, recruiting is relationships, man. And it's what's that called? Texts that don't get responded to. It's phone calls and emails that people don't see that though, right? Like they don't,
no,
in the back when you waking up, like while you drinking coffee or whatnot, trying to get these kids out of there. You know what I mean? There is some superstars. I mean, you've been lucky to coach a superstar, had a few at Cathedral. It's easy for them, but we're talking about the other ones. It's more than one. So it takes a lot, man. So I applaud you. I see you, and you're doing big things. But let's get to to two of your players. We got QB1, we got Jordan Hernandez, and we got Tayshawn, the wide receiver one. So let's hop into them. Coach, you can chime in anytime you want to, man. Let's just have an open conversation. Let's start with the quarterback. It all starts with the quarterback. So real quick, introduce your quarterback, Coach.
We got Jordan Hernandez, QB1 out of Tennyson High School. It's his senior year, man. This guy's electrifying. Go ahead, Jordan.
What's up, guys? I'm Jordan Hernandez, Tennyson High School quarterback, senior. Yeah.
Jordan, what's up, man? So I got to meet you. I meet you at a camp earlier in the summer. So I know you've been grinding. You've been having your receivers having a record-breaking season, and you throwing them the ball. So you got to be breaking records too. Let's just talk about y'all's success this year, 3-0. How did y'all get to this point, and what's y'all goal? What's your goal as a quarterback to lead this team through the playoffs and and chase the state championship?
Man, so as far as going 3-0 early, I mean, we've been putting in the work since, when did we start, Coach? Like March? It's been early. We've been grinding every day.
January, bro.
January.
So these two been working. Hold on, Jordan. These two been working as soon as the season started. So they've been on their own mission. You know what I mean? So.
And you can tell, and you know what I'm saying, fruit of the labor. It's showing in week 3, y'all got more passing yards than some kids in the whole season. So go ahead. So what's your goal for this team, Jordan, this year? Y'all went 10-1 last year. You got the rings. What's your goals for the team?
Man, for the team, I'm trying to win a state. Like all the personal stuff, like the records, it'll come, like it'll fall. But I'm trying to go to state. I'm trying to win that thing. I'm trying to go all the way.
And I think y'all can do it, man. I was looking at y'all's schedule, right? Y'all got a great opportunity. You know, maybe some tough games against San Leandro, Logan, Oakland Tech, right? That'll be dog fights. But then, man, it sky's the limit. And you know, when you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. And I think this year, man, y'all older, y'all gonna avenge that loss. Did y'all lose Cardinal Newman?
Cardinal Newman, yeah.
A clap back this year. I think it's gonna come, man. So I'm for y'all. So what's your goals as you know, as far as like the next level? Do you want to play college ball? Do you got a certain school you want to go to? Just tell us about your recruitment and what you got for your future.
So yeah, most definitely. I've had a couple looks so far early. So as far as like last year, some from like Fresno State, San Jose, Sac State, and then I recently got my first offer from Southwest Minnesota State. For sure. So yeah, I'm most definitely trying to go play college ball. Absolutely. Yeah, most definitely.
I think it's gonna happen. You keep slinging that ball around, they gonna come knocking, man. That's just how it goes. But I seen you in the summer working. You look good at the camps you poised, so I know you're gonna have a good season, man. And let's bring on your boy. Who's gonna help you y'all gonna help each other, right? Y'all gonna help each other here. So Tayshawn, man, if you can hop on, and then let's just chime in about you, Doc.
Yes, sir.
So what's happening? So what's your goal? What's your goals for the team, man? So the ball's coming to you a lot. It could be pressure or whatnot. People handle pressure different ways. What's your mindset around that?
I mean, as far as like handling pressure, I mean, I kind of expected it, you know what I mean? Our coach said it's a privilege to have pressure on you, you know what I mean? And I felt that pressure ever since I got into high school, whether it's me from fans or coaches, I felt it on myself. You know what I mean, to go somewhere where, not a lot of people in my family been at. So when we talk about team expectations, of course the goal is to go to state, but I know in myself that I'm gonna get better. But I think what would really fulfill me more than anything, of course, state's gonna be that's the number one goal.
Yeah.
But under that, I think for me is like seeing everyone around me get better. A lot of players that haven't really played football. Like, haven't really played football for a long time like I have, or maybe Jordan, our teammate Jamar, they haven't, sees people know how to play the game, know what they're looking at, know how to react, you know what I mean? Just seeing them get better and enjoy the game, see how we enjoy it. I want them to see how we see it, and love the game for what it is. I want them to go play college ball too. You know, I want everyone to go play college ball. That's all their dreams. I want to see that happen. You know what I mean? And that's something that'll fulfill me more than anything.
Hey man, that's a selfless statement from a dude who was a 4-star recruit, and you can be super. I come across a lot of athletes, man. People can be super airheaded and get to their head, and they'll never mention their teammates. You know what I mean? So just the fact that you popped on and your first comment was about the success of your teammates, like that says a lot about you. It says a lot about your parents. It says a lot about your coaches, man. So I'm really excited for y'all now because y'all just a different, a different breed. So let's talk about y'all stats. So both of y'all, chime in. So the last game, which was just bananas, I was looking, I always go through the stats and look at the Twitter, and the last stats, let's go with Jordan first. So Jordan, you had, you had 386 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown in one game.
Yeah.
God dang, how was it back there? You must have been, I didn't see how many, times you dropped back, but you had to be back there slinging it. How was that?
It was fun, man. I love going out there and just throwing it to my guys. I had 16 pass attempts, 12 completions. So yeah, you can do the math on that completion percentage. But yeah, I had all day back there just throwing it to my guys, getting in the rock.
And correct me if I'm wrong. So Mount Eden is y'all rival, and y'all put up the numbers. Yeah. Y'all put it on. It wasn't a friendly affair there.
Oh no. Well, yeah, we're not too fond of them.
I hear you, man. Hey, let's go to Tayshawn. So I jotted down, you had 303 yards and 3 touchdowns, and you probably took it easy on them. What is it like, man, just at 300 yards receiving in the game? You must have been just running all over the field.
Shoot. I want to piggyback off what Jordan said. He threw 16 times. Bro, that's probably the most we've really thrown in a game, to be honest. There's never been a time I can't remember since I've been here where we just threw it. You know what I mean? Going into this week, it was just like, we want to kill these dudes. You know what I mean? Everything, it was, this was more than just a win. It was more than that. You know what I mean? And as far as my stats, you know what I mean? It comes and goes. I thought I could have done better personally. I didn't know, when the reporter told me I had 303 yards, I didn't know I had 303 yards. I'm thinking like probably 185, maybe 200. But, I had a lot of big plays, a lot of, plays where Jordan's going to scramble out and I see him, okay, I'm going to roll out, give him a good angle. You throw the ball, good 40 yards, you know what I mean? Crossbody and everything. There's plays where I'm going to just burn the dude on top, or I'm going to go up top of him and I'm going to do the rest. There's a play at halftime. I went for about 40 yards, they knew we were going deep, you know what I mean? So I, get a little hitch and I just did what I had to do, got me a little 40 yards, so it's just a lot of plays where it's just like, let me do me, you know what I mean? A lot of work in the defender. If I can recall, there was a play where I scored I think 70-yard touchdown on I'm gonna be honest, when we lined up there, that wasn't even the play. We didn't even run that play when we lined up. I saw what I saw and I was like, hold on. We switched it. I took one of my tails. I was like, hold on, get in the middle.
Man, get just.
Yeah. And I was like, we did that, and credit to Coach P, because he ain't saying anything, you know what I mean? I know there's some coaches that'll flash out if I did what I did, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm running the strike. I'm running. I don't really care. Ran it, got a 70-yard touchdown out of it. It was just like that, a lot of big plays. I had 8 catches, and I did it all in the third quarter. All in 3 quarters. I didn't even touch the ball the whole fourth quarter.
Oh, man. So y'all was playing nice. I think you probably would have broke the state record if you played the whole game. God dang. But he said he thought he only had 185. The highlights I seen, it was like an 80-yard bomb. It was over and over. So
man. I ain't know. Shoot.
But humble, man.
I real quick piggyback on what Tayshawn said. I talked to these guys a lot about, us having a chemistry, because I call the offense, defense, and special teams. So with my captains, yeah, man.
Okay.
Unfortunately, man, it's tough, man. But I'm more of a defensive guy. But this year I had to tap into the offensive playbook a lot, and get it going for these guys, man. So what Tayshawn did, they have their freedom. You know what I mean? As long as we know what to do, execute. There's times I'm looking at Jordan, he sees something, I trust him. You know what I mean? And we have to have that chemistry, and it goes with, the Zoom meetings, and, goes with the phone calls, the text message. Hey, coach, look at this play. We can do this. And we have that chemistry and that bond to where you know, if we lead, the rest of the team will follow, you know, and that is a prime example right there of recognizing what they're in. You know, he made the adjustment to go into that to run a strike, send the other guy on the seam, you know, whatever it is. And that right there is a part of maturity and growth. You know, we talk about it. And, you know, our athletes are on the same pages as coaches the majority of the time. So when they understand what they're in, what coverage they're in, and they make those adjustments on their own, and like they look over and either they give me the thumbs up or I give them the thumbs up, or they just run it. You know what I mean? Like we know exactly what needs to be done. And that was great right there. You know, I'm especially not gonna be mad about it when you go 80 yards.
Hey, for real, hey, you change the play, you better score, dog. Like,
yeah,
it ain't not bad, dog. You gotta make that happen. Hey, man,
yeah.
I'm so excited for. What's y'all next game? Who y'all got next? Is it Oakland Tech or who y'all got next?
Hayward High.
Hayward High. Is that a rival too? You know, inner city rival.
Yeah, we always play each other back-to-back weeks. It's the battle of the stack.
Got you. Well, if we could bet on y'all in Vegas, I'll put my money down on Tennyson. Hey, for the show. But hey, thank y'all for coming, man. It's been a pleasure. Let's stay connected. Let's keep pumping kids out. Keep doing what you're doing, Coach. Good luck, and I'll follow y'all. And let's hook back up in the playoffs.
Likewise. Thank you, Coach. We appreciate your time.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Appreciate y'all.
Peace out.
So we just had Tennyson High, man. They were here. You can tell by talking to their coaches, their head coach, talking to the players that them boys are locked in, right? It's a family affair over there. They building men through the game of football. You know what I mean? So that's big. I'm rooting for Tennyson. I didn't know too much about them. I know a little bit about them, but Tennyson is one of my teams. I got a few teams that I root for. Indirectly, we don't even play them. They in a different league, so it's all good. But Tennyson, y'all on my list. Good luck, fellas. And as we end, let's get to I got one more shout out from my guy Coach Anderson out in Salinas. He recommended, and I just gotta looking at the stats. This is pretty impressive. We got Peyton Hayton. He's just been absolutely balling, right? And that's what I might just start calling it. Balling. Who's been balling? He's out of Rancho San Juan. In the last 3 games, he has 600 yards and 13 touchdowns. 600 yards and 13 touchdowns. The boy is putting on for San Juan. So shout out to Coach Anderson for giving me that player recommendation there. Peyton Hatton out of Rancho San Juan out in the Salinas area. And as we end, you know, I always got a question. The question of the week is, do you think I can swim, right? You already know. They already say black people can't swim. So that's why I asked y'all. I want to see if y'all was going to be honest here. So we got 33% of the people said yes. 7% of the people said no. And 60% of the people said doggy paddle only. Now, I just feel totally disrespected here. First of all, I can swim like a dolphin. Excuse me. I've been swimming since I was like 5 years old, man. So, yes, I can swim. Very good. In the ocean, in the pool, in the lake, in a puddle. I can swim. You hear me? So, hey, thank y'all for, you know, getting into the poll. If you got any question of the week that y'all want to hear, I know some people saying they want to know what's my favorite, what's the people's favorite Wingstop flavor wing. So that might be a question. If y'all got question ideas, y'all got ideas for the show. If you want to get on the show, if you want to come on here and freestyle, let me know. We'll get you on. But I'd like to thank y'all once again. This is week 3 of the Mike Hill Show podcast with West Coast Preps. It's an honor to be here and be able to be on this platform and just talk every Sunday. So we'll get it in again next Sunday. I'll have updates from all the games around the Bay Area, including Menlo versus Freedom, which will be a big time matchup. So stay posted. Please like, subscribe, retweet, holla at me. Everything. Let's just keep this going on this podcast and listen, share it with your friends, share it with your family. I appreciate y'all. God bless.